Art Nouveau is back, and this time we're bringing Paris home. In today's tour, you'll see how sinuous lines, botanical motifs, and handcrafted details create a cozy, elegant apartment that feels both cinematic and lived in. If you love vintage romance with modern comfort, you're in the right place. Please subscribe, like, and share your favorite detail in the comments. We'll decode signature motifs, curving whiplash lines, stylized florals, stained glass shimmer, and show how to layer them with soft textiles, jewel tones, and warm metals. You'll learn practical swaps, curved mirrors over sharp frames, botanical wallpaper accents, brass pulls for subtle glow, and sculptural lighting that feels like jewelry for your room. Whether you're in a compact studio or a sunlit houseman walk-up, these ideas scale beautifully. Expect tips for budget-friendly finds, antique market treasure hunting, and blending shabby chic comfort with Parisian polish. Settle in with tea, cozy throws, and let's craft a timeless retreat together. Don't forget to subscribe, tap like, and tell me which corner you'd recreate first. Two's Art Nouveau's essence lies in its curves, fluid, rhythmic lines inspired by nature's grace. Think of the way vines twirl, waves bend, and flowers unfold. In a Parisian apartment, these motifs soften hard geometry, turning a simple hallway or doorway into a poetic moment. Every curve invites calm, creativity, and continuity. These undulating forms often appear in carved furniture edges, moldings, mirrors, and ironwork. Even subtle choices, a serpentine console leg, a flowing window frame, echo the organic rhythm of the natural world. It's elegance born from imperfection, where structure yields to movement and beauty feels alive rather than designed. When styling your home, introduce motion through furniture lines, curved lighting arms, and pattern placement. A wavy wallpaper border or asymmetrical mirror instantly evokes Art Nouveau's spirit. Let each detail guide the eye naturally from one curve to the next, just as nature's own forms flow without force. In Art Nouveau interiors, the architecture itself performs like sculpture. Doorways bend into generous arches, passageways ripple with carved frames, and interior transitions are softened with curved headers instead of sharp right angles. These gestures make a home feel like it was drawn rather than constructed, an unbroken line connecting one space to the next. Arched doors and alcoves are not only decorative, they change how a room is experienced. A curved threshold slows the eye and creates ceremony in movement. Instead of abruptly entering a space, you are invited, welcomed, ushered in by form. This sense of choreography is one of Art Nouveau's most poetic achievements. Even if your home is modern or box-shaped, you can emulate this language. Apply arch trim to flat openings, add half-circle transoms, or install curved mirrors that echo an arch visually. Vinyl wall arches, drapery crowns, and painted trompe-l'oeil can evoke the same softness without renovation. Let the lines bend where the walls cannot. Stained glass is one of the most enchanting signatures of Art Nouveau, sunlight transformed into moving color. In Parisian apartments, floral and geometric panes filter daylight into blues, ambers, and greens, turning ordinary mornings into theater. Unlike minimal glass, stained glass adds narrative. Light arrives not blank but blooming with story and tone. What makes Art Nouveau stained glass unique is its organic flow, petals that curl, vines that braid, water-like gradations, all framed in lead lines that mimic nature's rhythm. The colors feel like pressed flowers preserved in light. Even a small panel, above a door, inside a cabinet, or in a transom, has the power to shift an entire room's mood. You don't need authentic antique panels to achieve the effect. Film overlays, salvaged inserts, framed loose panels hung in front of windows, or even backlit glass art can deliver that jeweled glow. The goal is to soften and romanticize the daylight, replacing stark brightness with layered, lyrical radiance. Ironwork is the quiet poetry of Parisian buildings, balcony rails that coil like vines, banisters that spiral like tendrils, door grills that read like ink drawings in metal. In Art Nouveau spaces, wrought iron is never just functional, it is ornament with intention, turning thresholds, stairs, and windows into living linework. These flourishes echo nature without literal imitation. You might see a line that suggests a leaf or petal, but never a direct copy. The abstraction is what makes Art Nouveau feel refined rather than thematic. Matte black, aged bronze, and patinated brass finishes add heritage weight, grounding the Romantic movement with visual gravitas. Even renters can bring this language indoors. Freestanding iron screens, curved coat racks, fireplace grates, iron-framed mirrors, or balcony-style console rails introduce that lyrical outline. Let ironwork become the ink that draws continuity through your home. Soft curves in a hard material are the paradox that defines this style. Unlike rigid, rectilinear furniture, Art Nouveau pieces seem to melt and move. Table legs arc like water, chair backs sweep like petals, cabinet edges round instead of stop. These whiplash silhouettes add grace without shouting. Motion is embedded in the structure itself, not painted on top. The furniture is the curve. This approach softens a room psychologically as much as visually. Curves invite touch, signal gentleness, and echo the comfort of the body. A rounded edge near a walkway feels safer and more flowing than a squared one. Even one sculptural piece, a console, headboard, mirror, or chair, can shift the emotional temperature of a room. If antiques are not accessible, look for modern reproductions with organic lines, scalloped edges, serpentine drawers, drum tables, curved sofas, or bentwood chairs. Pair sculptural pieces with textiles that echo their softness, velvet, chenille, mohair, to let your room breathe like a living organism rather than a grid. Botanical wallpaper is one of the most direct ways to bring Art Nouveau's garden-like spirit indoors. Instead of tiny repeats or stiff wallpapers, this era favored sweeping florals, curling stems, vine arabesques, and fan-like leaves that feel as though they are growing across the wall. Pattern becomes architecture when it moves with intent. A single accent wall behind a bed, sofa, or entry console can set the tone of an entire home. In small Parisian apartments, wallpaper acted like a visual expansion. Vines traveling vertically pull the eye upward, making ceilings seem taller and rooms more regal without adding furniture bulk. Pattern becomes an optical tool. For renters or the budget-conscious, peel and stick options, framed wallpaper panels, canvas prints of textile motifs, or even decoupage on doors and cabinet fronts can achieve the effect. The key is scale and rhythm. Choose a pattern that flows, not one that simply repeats. Let the walls whisper in flowers instead of shout in geometry. Art Nouveau rooms are rarely pale or anonymous. Color is treated like atmosphere. Deep emerald, amethyst plum, antique gold, peacock blue, and mulled wine reds create a sensuous, cocooning backdrop. These tones feel historical without feeling heavy because they are used with softness. Velvet, mohair, silk, aged brass, and filtered light temper the saturation. Jewel tones anchor the romance of curving lines and floral motifs. They lend seriousness to whimsy, keeping organic forms from feeling playful or juvenile. A plum velvet sofa, emerald drapery, or peacock glass lamp is enough to shift a room instantly from pretty to cinematic. The quality Art Nouveau interiors are loved for. If deep walls feel intimidating, introduce color in layered textiles, throws, pillows, upholstery bands, lampshades, and framed textiles. Pair jewel tones with creamstone, natural wood, and bronze metalwork to prevent visual heaviness. The palette should feel like a velvet theater, dark where it matters, glowing where the light lands. Art Nouveau interiors are never glossy in a modern mirror-like sense. Their metals glow rather than glare. Brass, bronze, pewter, and aged gold are used to catch light softly, on lamp arms, cabinet poles, balcony rails, mirror frames, and latches. The shine is warm, lived in, and romantic, not sterile or chrome-like. Metals serve a narrative role. They outline curves, echo botanical motifs, and add depth to jewel tones. A patinated brass lamp base on a plum table reads like jewelry against fabric. Bronze against stained glass intensifies the warmth of filtered light. Shine is not central, it is supporting poetry at the edges. In modern homes, you can achieve this look by choosing brushed or patinated finishes over polished ones. Mix metals in small quantities rather than matching everything. One brass mirror, one bronze lamp, one pewter frame, these quiet touches converse in harmony instead of competing. Let the metals be accents, not armor. Lighting is one of the most defining emotional tools in Art Nouveau decor. Instead of bright overheads, rooms are layered with low, warm pools of light, lamps, sconces, and glass shades that glow like jewelry. The light is not meant to reveal everything, it is meant to seduce the eye slowly. Glass shades in petal, trumpet, or lily forms soften harsh bulbs, turning illumination into sculpture. A curved arm sconce beside a mirror or a gilded lamp on a marble console creates intimacy and ritual. Light lands on velvet, brass, and wallpaper like a slow dance, warming depth instead of flattening it. For contemporary adaptation, replace white bulbs with warm amber tones, add table and wall lighting instead of ceiling reliance, and choose shades with curved profiles rather than sharp drums. Lighting in Art Nouveau is romance made practical, functional glow shaped like nature itself. Art Nouveau is not just an architecture or palette, it's a way of composing life. Styled vignettes allow you to express that language in small, meaningful scenes. A curved mirror above a console, a stained glass fragment beside stacked books, a brass lamp next to a single flower stem. A vignette is a still life that explains your taste without words. Think in layers: structure, mirror, console, softness, fabric, flowers, memory, books, letters, heirlooms, and glow, lamp, candle, metal. When these four ingredients touch, a corner becomes a story. The goal is not to decorate but to compose with intention, the way a Parisian does, quietly, poetically, without excess. Rotate these compositions seasonally without replacing the foundation pieces. Swap flowers, textiles, or books, relocate one object and the entire mood shifts. This is how vintage interiors stay alive. They evolve gently instead of resetting. Let your home read like a diary of objects, not a catalog of purchases. We've walked through the language of Art Nouveau: curves, stained glass, botanical walls, jewel tones, sculptural furniture, brass glow, and soulful vignettes. These elements don't just decorate a home, they change the tempo of living. They slow the eye, soften edges, and remind us that beauty can be lived with daily, not only admired in museums. Whether you live in a modest rental or a historic flat, you can begin with one gesture: a curved mirror, a floral wallpaper panel, a brass lamp, or a stained glass insert. Let your home evolve patiently. Beauty layered over time always feels richer than anything bought all at once. Art Nouveau is not style, it is patience in material form. If this Parisian revival inspired you, I would love to hear which detail moved you most. Please subscribe for more vintage soul interiors, like this video to support the work, and comment below with the room or element you want to try first. Your engagement helps this channel keep sharing timeless beauty with the world.